Here we go. Okay, well, good evening, everybody, and welcome to Club Trainers Monday Night Training for Rotary. I'm Ben Medina, the district trainer, and I'm joined tonight by Naomi Masuno, our immediate past district governor. And tonight, we're basically going to cover kind of a wide range of things, but our focus tonight is really going to be on the president-elects and their training. Some of you that are joining us tonight are president-elects. So you were invited because, I know as a president-elect, you just can't get enough Rotary information. So I'm glad that you decided to join us tonight. So we're just gonna kind of go over what the president-elects are doing, how you might be able to help them, what we have planned as far as training for club trainers, president-elects, actually everyone, board people for the rest of the year, and then how you can participate. And then we're going to have a little discussion on, what your feelings are and thoughts and input are on things that we can do over the next few months to help that transition go smoother. So before we get started, I wanted to just acknowledge our current district governor is here with us tonight, Sandy Matsui. So Sandy, would you like to say hi to everybody?
Hi, everybody. Aloha. It's great to be here with this very distinguished group, especially this time of year, right? When we're making this transition from trying to finish out the year strong this year and have an even stronger year next year. So you folks play a really key role in this and helping to prepare the leadership and helping to keep the transition going for the future. So thanks. It's great to be here with you. Aloha. Have fun.
All right, Sandy, thanks a lot. You can always depend on Sandy for some cheerful words, which is great. Before I'm going to turn it over to Naomi to kind of go over some of the things the district is doing now and then what's coming up. But I do want to make a point that Sandy made in her comments just now, is that we really do want to try to finish the year strong. And it's kind of a weird thing in Rotary because, one group gets going and they start in, and just a few months right after that, the next group is coming up. So you sort of have this constant, training transition type situation happening, not just, in our clubs and in our district, but all over Rotary. And these few months that are coming up, especially after we finish PETS, and PETS is this month, as you know, it's just in a few weeks, and some of you are going to be joining us in beautiful Los Angeles to participate in that fun event. But when we come back, we've got some really crucial things, that are designed to kind of harness the energy. And those of you that have been club presidents before, that have gone to PETS, know that basically when you come back, you're really kind of revved up and ready to go. It's pretty exciting once you get to PETS. I know I went twice because I wasn't smart enough to get it once, so I had to go twice. But one of the things that is really impressive is you get to understand the width and breadth of how big Rotary is, how far-reaching it is, the impact of the things that people do as part of being a Rotarian. And it sort of gives you some great ideas about things that you can do at your own club level. So part of what makes your position as club trainer, your position as club trainer really important, because you're the continuity piece that every club kind of depends on, so that during this transition or this turnover, that there is somebody there that helps with that, and your part in that is super important. And without that, it makes it really difficult, because it's almost in some places, just kind of starting from scratch. So tonight, a lot of what tonight is going to be is sort of updating you on on what's happening within our district and where we're going. Because the other piece that we're hoping every club trainer does is to also assist the president in helping information get out into your club. Because sometimes, just having one person being responsible for filtering all that information down, it's better if you have more than just one person. Because I mean, as you know, because you're Rotarians, lots of information is always coming down the pipe. So so with that, Naomi, why don't I turn it over to you, and Naomi's going to kind of update you on some of the things that are ahead, and then information that that you can help disseminate out to your club.
Okay, thank you. And sometimes there's so much information that sometimes we forget to say certain things or bring up certain things. So we want to share in what's coming up, so you know what's going on and you can help things that happen in your own club. And so, by the way, this background that Benson and I have came from Rotary International. This month is the Conflict Resolution and Peace Month. That's the theme. And so they have these backgrounds that you can use in your Zoom meetings for the theme of the month, for the areas of focus. Okay, so let me share my screen. So Benson, what is the alakai?
Sorry, I had to unmute. So the alakai is like the guide, right? So in a lot of hula halaus, the halau is a hula school. The alakai's job basically is to be the guide, is to assist the kumu, the teacher, and helping people to guide their way, to find their way along wherever it is that they're going, to keep people on the right direction, and to provide help and assistance in anything they need. So alakai is a really important person. So it's good to have you guys as the alakai of your club. Okay, thanks.
So club trainers are really important, and you're the alakai for your club. And if you didn't see this Imagine Rotary logo, it is the new one coming up for Jennifer Jones. Okay, so for the club trainer, guiding the club in being stronger, and one of the things is really trying to develop leaders within your club. And so as a club trainer, the alakai, you're a resource for the president and the board. You help to develop the leaders by guiding them and just giving them heads up of what needs to be done. And you can help by identifying future leaders in your own club and future district leaders and committee members. So succession planning, stronger membership, stronger members. These are things that we need your help on, because you'll be the smartest, or you are the smartest person in the club. And as Alan says, you're the co-pilot for the president, so that it's not everything on the president's shoulder, and he or she can just run the meeting, and the club actually can try and run itself with everybody paddling at the same time. And Benson's going to talk about paddling at one of these meetings in the future, yeah, because everybody needs to paddle together. Because if you ever paddled a canoe, if people don't have their paddles going at the same time, you're not going to be fast. So it's got to be people working together. So this is the calendar. This is what's coming up from now to June. So well, the grant qualifications were due, and some of the clubs still have not sent the grant qualifications. So remember, we talked about this, the 3 documents plus the tax return for June 30, 2021, and the 2 people at training. So we still need to collect those. Hopefully we'll get everybody qualified by PETS. Okay, pre-PETS is on the 19th, and all of the PEs will be there virtually, and we'll talk about the plan for the year. Then PETS is still on in person in Los Angeles, the 25th through this 27th. And one of the keynote speakers, Randy, got Hank Rogers. So if you know Hank Rogers, he's the Tetris guy, but right now he's working on this really big plan to help us, our state and the world, be self-sufficient in energy by 2045. So this Saturday, he's going to do a webinar at 10 o'clock for our district, so we can hear what his initiatives are, what he's doing. He goes to United Nations meetings to help with what needs to be done with clean energy. So on the 12th of March, we're going to have a virtual pets for people who want a refresher. Maybe pets was just too much information going forward. So this is where, and you guys can come too, to the Holomua moving forward virtual pets. So this is the makeup pets on the 12th of March. Then on the 26th, we have the transition training that's on Saturday to work with PEs and presidents. And then we have our spring training. So our spring training, oh, I'm missing one. Wait, is it 26th the virtual? Trilla, the 26th is the virtual spring training on the Vibrant Club. Okay, and then we have the training assemblies on the 2nd and the 9th, 9 to 12, and then the district conference. So for the training assemblies, this is where we're asking you to bring all of your incoming board members so they can hear what their roles and responsibilities are, and to share some ideas on what you can do in their position. So for you, some of the upcoming tasks would be to try and get your team to go to the training assembly, have your own assembly in April, May, June, where the incoming team talks about what they plan to do for the year, and then work on the budget based on the activities, and then do the transition of files and knowledge to the incoming person. Okay, so those are the things that we're asking your help with in your own club. Okay, Benson?
Sorry, I had to unmute. So I didn't see Vibrant Clubs in there. Do we miss that on the 19th? March
Oh, okay. Yeah, I missed it.
Yeah, that's okay. So important one that we're gonna that we want to focus on is Vibrant Clubs. And Vibrant Clubs is something that we do every year. It's actually one of the most important trainings that we do because it helps people all throughout our club system focus on getting their strategic plan together if they don't have one. This year we're gonna take kind of 3 routes there, because some clubs already have a strategic plan. Maybe you might be one of those clubs that have one, but maybe it's not working or you haven't used it for a while. So if you have a strategic plan, you know, we're gonna help you to use it better. And then if you have a strategic plan and maybe it isn't working, we'll give you some tips on basically how to maybe retool it a little bit so it can be more effective. Part of what we're gonna do at PETS, and I wanted to actually start a conversation now since we don't have a super huge group tonight, and we don't really need to go into breakouts, so we can do our own like one big breakout room. Part of what we're going to be doing at PETS, I'm on the education committee to develop the curriculum that we're going to present for our president-elects, is to sort of give them this idea that, you know, you're not going to grasp every single thing that happens at PETS. You know, just like quickly by a show of hands, who's actually been at one of these? PETS' president-elect training. Okay, who's been a president before? Okay, so it's a pretty intense weekend. Thanks, Doug. Pretty intense weekend. You know, you get there typically Thursday, and then you go, yeah, Friday, Saturday, and part of Sunday, and it's you know, Rotary on steroids, and so it goes pretty fast. And what happens is you get like every, like, you know, 1,000 gallons of Rotary. Now, it's not possible, of course, to absorb all of that. So what we try to tell our PEs is that it's kind of like going shopping at Costco, right? So you're going to get your wagon and you're going to go through those aisles, and there's going to be so much stuff there that you can't possibly get it all. But what you have to think about, like if you're going to Costco and go shopping, right? What's on your mind primarily? What's on your mind is, what am I going to buy for my family? You know, what does my family eat? What do they like? You know, so if I buy a new, you know, set of dishes, this is something that's going to work with my family. So it's the same thing actually at Pets, where our president-elects are going to kind of go through that. And what we're going to ask them to do is pick out the things that can work for your club. Because not everything fits, and it's not a
Recording in progress.
one size fits all. You're wondering what that is. Me too. I'm wondering. So what I want to kind of talk about now, just so that we can get our minds around it, is so if you were going to be the one going to Pets, what would you be looking for in terms of something that would be really essential for you to bring back, that you could incorporate in your club that could really help your club? Because when we do pre-Pets, which is going to be a week from this Saturday, that's what we're going to actually put in their heads. We're going to say, okay, think about your club. All right, talk to the people in your club. Maybe you know the people in your club. Talk to the board in your club. Okay, what do you think your club needs that you could get at Pets that you could bring back, and it could be really effective within your club? So let's kind of talk about that at the group. So Lawrence, I see you kind of nodding your head. So why don't you unmute and tell us, if you were going to Pets, what would you be looking for that could be something that could be valuable for your club?
Yes, for me, I need to focus on membership. So I would like to know by networking, see who's there, what kind of ambition do they have, why did they join Rotary in the first place? And then maybe I can take that information and go back to my area in Pro City to try to get that kind of a mindset into our club. So at least I'm more focused on my fishing rather than just trying to go out. Well, it's hard right nowadays. You can't approach anybody through a mask and say, how are you doing? You want to meet us for lunch? What kind of business do you have? See, so all of that stuff is all mute behind the mask. So if you can kind of judge now, I hate to say that, but you got to do a little more focused target and try to say, okay, did I see that person somewhere? Or do I know him? Or do I have friends or family that probably know him? So somehow I got to build my relationship around those type of approach rather than handshake. Can't even do a handshake nowadays. So it's very challenging. Yeah, it's very challenging.
Yeah, that's right, Larry. Thanks a lot, Lawrence. So Bev Heike, so last year you didn't get to go to Pets because you had to do it virtually. So your President-elect Connie is going to get to go, right? So, so what would you tell her? So Connie, go and look for this, or you know, this kind of information or information on this could be really helpful to our club. So what would you tell her?
Well, that's a great question, Benson. I was just kind of thinking about myself when I attend. My thought was, and with most things, when we have a lot of training, a lot of things we have to absorb, I kind of have my own philosophy is I'll take what I like and I'll leave the rest. So yeah, I'll take what I think I would be useful for me. And so I guess for our club, I think the main thing at this point is to probably look for things where we can really educate our club on, I feel, board procedures. I know this is probably not something every club needs to know, but I think they need to know procedures and policies and Robert's rules and things that are very helpful in conducting meetings. I think that's something that's overlooked We tend to have meetings and they're not very organized, and we're not following any kind of protocols and things. So I think that's important. Even though our club is great and we're a large club, sometimes if we don't have the knowledge to run proper meetings, a lot of things are left out. So that's what I would say. Membership, we do well with that, and fundraising and funds and all that, but there's some things behind the scenes that need to be worked out to make a club runs really smooth. So that's kind of what I would advise her on.
Okay, that's good advice. Gail, go ahead. What's your thought? You can unmute and go.
One of the things that I took home from PETS, which I would certainly share with the group and with our president-elects, is go to other Rotary Club meetings and learn by watching whoever's the current president. I sat down after many different club meetings with a lot of club presidents and said, show me the book they talked about at PETS. You know, how do you schedule your notebooks so you know what you're doing each week of the meeting? And that was very, very valuable for me to see people who actually had done it, not just talking about doing it. And that helped me when I became president. Also, I asked a lot of people, what goes into your newsletter? Because at that point I was in Wynwood, Oahu Sunrise. That was before I transferred into Waikiki Rotary. And we were a very new club. And so I didn't know what goes into a Rotary Club's newsletter. So I had people actually sit down with me after Rotary meetings and show me hands-on experience, the stuff that was talked about at PETS. I got my eyeballs on by going to visit a lot of different Rotary clubs in person here on Oahu. And that really helped me to prepare so that by the time it was my turn to be president, I had met with my incoming board and said, here's what I think a newsletter could look like for a club. Give me feedback. Here's what I think our meeting structure could look like for a club. Give me feedback. So all that was done in after PETS, but before I actually became president. And I think it helped a lot in the transition.
Boy, that's a great answer. You know, and now, because a lot of clubs are still doing virtual meetings, I mean, man, you can go to 10 club meetings and just never leave your bedroom or wherever you have your camera or your computer set up. Craig, what's your thought? So if you were going to PETS, I don't know if you are or not, what would you be looking for, and what do you think could really help your club?
Yeah, I am going to PETS.
Okay.
And so we have talked a little bit about this. So fundraising is one of those items. And then also I think how to increase participation with a small club, and then how to actually mobilize the group in service projects.
So how big is your club, Craig?
Well, let's see, I think there's about 25 on the roster, but there's like less than 9 who are actively calling in for Zoom. So.
Yes. Okay, Greg. Craig, that's super great. And you know, part of the issue we have in Rotary is the scale, right? So we have, you know, sometimes, you know, the issues that Bev has. I mean, they have a gigantic club, almost 100 members, and then are different from the kinds of issues that Craig's going to have that has, like, you know, 20 members and 9 actively showing up. So what I see in Rotary now is there's about I see this sort of 50% thing. So whatever you have on your roster, about 50% of those people show up, typically will show up, and about 50% of those people are the ones that are really, really heavily active. Okay, so I'm going to turn it over to Naomi now. She's going to talk a little bit about the training assemblies. Okay, go for it.
So PETS has changed over the years, and sometimes it's not the same old Pets. It's not the same as last year or the year before. And so at Pets, it's more of the content part on how to implement ideas on foundation and membership. But when we do the training assemblies, this is where we're training specifically for our clubs, and because our culture is a little different from mainland people, and our projects are a little different. So what we'd like to do is ask you, when we have training assembly in April, what would you like us to be covering for your members? We want to make sure that we have good training, and it's going to be meaningful for your board members and your club members to help them be stronger, to help your club be stronger. So, we had a meeting with Beverly on DEI, on diversity, equity, and inclusion. And maybe it's something that we need to really talk about in the club to expand, to get people that are not represented in your club, that are in the committee, not represented in your club. And this is something maybe we need to brainstorm and find out how we can do that. So right now, we'd like to ask you, okay, when you think about the training that we've had, okay, what worked, what didn't work, what would you like us to include in the training assemblies? Gail.
Absolutely, doing service projects during COVID. That's got to be on everybody's mind. How do you deal with the fact that you want to do the dictionary project, which Waikiki Rotary did, but you're not allowed to present the dictionaries to the kids in schools? Well, what our club, just as an example, what our club did is our youth service chair contacted each principal, found out how many dictionaries were needed for all the third graders, and had all the cases of dictionaries shipped to the principal. The principal then gave the cases of dictionaries to the classroom teachers. The classroom teachers presented the dictionaries to the students, and we mailed the four-way test labels to the principal to give to the teachers so that they could still put the four-way test labels in the dictionary. Not as satisfying as doing it in person, but COVID has changed the way we have to do the business of Rotary. So lots of examples like that. I'm sure my club's not the only one who's dealt with service projects during COVID. And we did a lot of service projects, but they were done very differently because of COVID. So I think that's an important thing to include for district assembly for training.
Okay, yeah, and our clubs have done things differently. Like the Hilo Club did a video that they recorded and gave to the school. So yes, we can all share to see how we did things differently to adapt and be flexible. Okay, what else? What else would you like to see at the training assemblies?
This is Beth.
Hey, Beth.
Hi. I don't know why my face is dark. But what I the light in the back is on, but I cannot turn on the light here because Jim's sleeping. It's 10 o'clock here. But anyway, what I would like to suggest is just a simple how to facilitate an effective club meeting, how to introduce the speaker properly. I think I'm so embarrassed sometimes the way some of how the president introduces the speaker, or you can have somebody else introduce a speaker. How to facilitate an effective board meeting, time management. I think those are just key things that presidents should really develop, because some of them are just so basic things like the Robert's rules, when you do a board meeting. I think Connie mentioned that earlier.
Thank you. Lynn?
I would like to get some ideas on fundraising, because I've heard of ideas that other clubs are doing. Big clubs like the Honolulu Club has auctions that raise thousands of dollars. But we're such a small club with only 15 members. And with COVID, it's been so hard for us to figure out ways to fundraise. So that would be great ideas for how to help a small club fundraise.
Virginia?
Naomi, I think two thoughts. One is having job-alike discussions so that you get a very diverse group of people at club assemblies. Some are presidents, some are secretaries, some are treasurers. They have different roles. And I typically have experienced that in assemblies, no one has done anything for committee chairs or other people. I'm assuming, and I don't know because I haven't been to one here, that club assemblies are open to club members, all club members that want to come. And so knowing who's coming is important to figuring out what the needs are going to be, and how often, whether you're getting the same group all the time or whether there are new people showing up. But the job alike sessions at least allow clubs, all the club secretaries to get together, or all the club treasurers to get together and have maybe a little bit of discussion about what they're doing, what they need, you know, that sort of thing. I don't think those have to be long, but I think they're valuable when you do it like over breakfast, have everyone grab their breakfast and then go to a table where they can talk with people who have the same job. I think that's been particularly valuable for me when it's been done, whether sometimes it's not at assembly, but at the conference.
Thank you.
Well, I just wanted to mention one other thing. A desire I have for club assemblies would be to take enough time to have at least an inspirational speaker talk about Rotary, you know, and what Rotary does, just to underscore the importance of taking time to be at an assembly. Not just about, yeah, I know that the rules and calendars and procedures are very important, but we're all here for a higher purpose. So, you know, something that addresses that higher purpose so we can go away with a little inspiration.
Good suggestion. Thank you. And we will have breakout sessions for the 5 avenues and the major chairs, so we can go over the rules and responsibilities. And so as club trainers, if you could please encourage the whole board, the whole club to come and to all 3, because the Vitamin Club workshop is important as well. But that's where we'll talk about the 4 priorities on how to expand your reach, how to engage your members, and we'll talk about that at the Vitamin Club workshop. And then on the next 2, on the 2nd and the 9th, that's when we'll go into the specific roles. And then we will follow up with board training to do Robert's Rules of Orders and how to run meetings for the presidents. We'll have those trainings as well. Okay, Calvin, what do we mean?
Hi. Well, our membership's on the small side. We have 20 members. I think we may be kind of unique. Our incoming president is under 30 years old. The next president is under 40. And then we have another one lined up after that. So succession plan looks pretty good. I think what we're looking at, just like everybody else, is membership development throughout COVID has been really hard. I think we just picked up one member who's coming from another club because he moved into our area. For our new incoming president, you know, she's so new. I think she's only been to 1 or 2 live meetings. So it's going to be a lot of support, like you were saying earlier, from the Alakai to, you know, over half the club of the 20 members are past presidents. So and a lot of support. I think, you know, one question would maybe, because we're all the clubs are kind of in the same situation, want to develop members, and is how there can be maybe some partnership from a district, our district, D5000 and clubs for membership development for this coming, whether the remaining year or coming year. You know, how can we have that umbrella supporting the clubs for membership?
Okay, thank you.
I have another question. You know, we had talked, yeah.
Beth, can Rachel go first? Rachel? Muted. Rachel, unmute.
Okay, there I am, sorry. Along that same line, our club appears to be a lot of people who have been around a long time and have a lot of experience and have been in many positions. And then a new group like me, who is barely trained. I mean, I was there for a year, gone for a year, back for a year. And so one of the things I've been thinking about, and I'm not exactly sure how this fits in, is we have in Lahaina 3 Rotary clubs. We have the breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You know, that's basically what Brendan said to us, you know. So I've been thinking about how do we work together with the other groups and be supportive of them so that we don't have to sort of reinvent the wheel for our own clubs, because many of those members have done those things already. But then maybe carve out 1 or 2 things that, you know, we take the initiative for. So that's just kind of an idea. And I'm not really sure, other than, you know, just calling up and introducing it to our members, what we, you know, which we've done, how to encourage that or spur, you know, that movement so we're more cohesive.
Okay, because Benson has this session at PETS where you're going to be talking about that in your AG groups on how to collaborate. So we've got that. So
got that covered.
yeah, so write down all of your ideas so you can bring them up to your group. Okay, Beth.
I was going to say the same thing.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
Good minds.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that is a really good idea to work together, and especially for small groups, you know, Calvin, when you're saying partnerships, a good partnership is with your own AG group on how you can work together. Craig.
Yeah. So maybe just to tag some thoughts onto what Virginia was saying is, you know, I find that we have a lot of interesting topics or presenters, right, for meetings, but often I feel like, well, what are we at the end of that? What is the call to action, or what are we doing? How does that relate back to service, right? And so maybe it's something along the lines where how do you take, or how do you plan a General Assembly session, have someone speak, but then have something that you're going to do to mobilize afterwards. Otherwise, it's just more information, right? And I think, in all honesty, that might be one of the barriers to some of the engagement. Is to some degree, people don't need just more information. You know, maybe they want to be able to mobilize, and then we're not clear on what that call to action is at the end of that 1 hour.
So that would be for your club meeting speaker, or for assembly speaker?
Well, I guess club. So the question was training, right? So you know, I guess how do we train the organization to make sure that when we are bringing in guest speakers or engaging, that it's not just information, that there's some service call to action as a result of that information.
Okay, thank you. Good suggestion.
Naomi, at the training assembly, will you be also talking about the club awards?
Mm,
Because all the presidents will be there, right?
Yeah, we'll cover that at PETS for the PEs. And then
Okay.
for the current awards program, I think Sandy can cover that in one of the president's meeting. Yes, Sandy? Okay,
Okay.
thanks. Okay. Other comments? So, you know, you old timers like Dave and Mariko, you've been to a lot of training. So how have they been? Have we been hitting the mark? How can we refresh some of the sessions? What are some new sessions that we can add? Mariko.
Yeah, I think, during the pandemic, everybody, I mean, all the clubs, try to find some unique ways to find some service projects. I think it would be probably interesting to share how to identify, unique opportunities, because, we tend to repeat same kind of projects all the time. But are we really are we missing some opportunities to serve certain segments of the community, or something really big, but one club think, oh, this is just too much for us to take, or so that relates to some collaboration among the clubs or the district. So something unique, how can we do something different?
I was going to say that one of the things I think that's important for us to do with our clubs is to try to find ways to energize the club. Age is just a number. It doesn't matter if you're old or young, you can still be energized to do things within the clubs. But sometimes I think our clubs get stuck in a status quo of doing the same things over and over again. And it's not young people or old people, it's just tradition. And we've got to sometimes think outside of the box and see what we can do that will bring energy back into the club by doing some things that are different, that also can involve all different age brackets, so that we all can get involved with it. But I think the club, the district, as well as RI, does a good job in bringing a lot of those subjects to the surface. Part of that is when you go to PETS, you're going to find a lot of other districts and a lot of other zones that are going to be talking about what they've been doing. And that brings back a lot of great ideas for what you could possibly do in Hawaii.
Okay, so what if we had a brainstorming session on how we can have different Zooms? So Sandy and I were talking, I think the DG and I were talking about doing an entertainment, a fun kind of Zoom for the whole district. Lynn had this big idea of having a karaoke contest. So, some
she hasn't heard me sing.
Uh-oh. That's after the bottle, right? So, bringing up these ideas and making them happen might be something good. So this health webinars that we're doing, the series is one way to bring some information to the whole district. And the one on March 3rd, which Lynn is involved in, is about mental health and how to keep mentally well. And so we'll have some ideas of how to keep well mentally. But doing a Sandy, if we could do like the entertainment one or a karaoke contest or something, that's something fun to do. Okay, she's not smiling. So.
No, I think it would be good to do some fun things. Some of the other thoughts that I had, and I want to bounce it off you folks as district trainers. One of the things that I've seen this year, that there are a lot of little mini sessions that we could probably have to help our members, for example, with all of the awards criteria that have come out, right? Like, for example, in public, like in public image, when we're asking clubs, please consider putting together a video or a photo essay of your projects. What do you think about having little mini sessions to actually teach folks, having our folks show them this is how you do it. Really, really easy. Short and easy steps that they can walk away with some tools. Because you know, in a lot of the trainings that Benson and Naomi are leading, it's the high level stuff, the strategic priorities, right? And all the responsibilities of the leadership. Do you think there's room for these little mini sessions for your club members to learn specific skill sets, to do, to do tasks in the club to help your club succeed? Any thoughts on that?
Rico?
That reminded me, Sandy, I forgot when it was, and a few months ago or several months ago, somebody in the district gave a training of how to take good video.
That was Ryan Kawamoto, exactly.
That was
Ryan,
really
okay.
useful, for our website or for any social media, how, just a few tips on how to do it. That sort of thing might be also interesting.
Mm-hmm. Gail?
Well, based on a discussion we had last month about is your club website updated, and what we're talking about now, I think a mini session for anyone who's interested, not just board members, but anybody district-wide, how in the world do you use Club Runner so that you know how to update your website? Because Club Runner is really hard to use. And if you're talking about having one person designated as a webmaster, but you don't have anybody in your club that's willing to do that, we're starting to think maybe we need to have several people, like the community service chair updates the community service part of the website, and the membership chair, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Except I don't know how to use Club Runner anymore. It's been forever, and I don't want to relearn it. But if you had a session on here's how to deal with Club Runner and make it as simple as possible, that could help. What Benson was getting at, are the websites updated? Because I went back and I looked at Waikiki's website and said to our president, the last time we updated what we did for community service was 2019. And here's all the stuff that we've done during COVID, but nobody knows how to use Club Runner to update it. So stuff like that would be very, very valuable, and open it up to everybody in the club, because you might have somebody in your club that goes, gee, I really would like to do website stuff, but I don't know how.
Love it. Thanks for that feedback, Gail and Beth.
Lynn? Lynn?
I'd like to have a venue where the different clubs just get to talk story and share projects, because I think, I think some of us are inventing the wheel and we don't know what other people are doing, and there are such great ideas that other clubs have. I think if there was a venue where we could just share, that would be really, really valuable.
Okay. Well, you have this big thing coming up called PITS that you're going to have a lot of opportunities to do that. But, within the meetings for pets, for our PEs, we can do that. And the presidents can do that as well. I believe the presidents do speak about their projects at their meetings. And I think Lawrence is going to say something. If he unmutes. Benson, play that song.
Okay, sorry, I was just hopping around. Okay, Naomi, okay, what should I say? Okay, for the past 2 weeks, I've been trying to help Naomi with some of the questions or concerns regarding the website. I told her I have some, that's what I do daily. I'm a webmaster for my work. So after listening to her issue, going to Club Runner, attending some other presentation for another vendor, this is what, Gail, you might be interested in. This is something interesting. Okay, for small clubs, website is not an important issue for nonprofits. Why? Because majority of the time, clubs tend to be the caregiver of providing community service, social. And that's the last thing they want to do is update the website. Okay. So if you go to Club Runner, we're the only club that don't have a website, but we use Facebook. Why? Because look at it. Every year you're going to have somebody who's going to say, I don't want to do a website. I don't want to update the website. Why do we have to keep on maintaining a website? So we have transitioned over to Facebook, where we tend to have members socialize by liking photos that are president posts. So we made it a key that whoever's president, the president will have access to the Facebook site of our club and post. So there's one messenger. And it's so easy, right? All you have to do is post one picture and put a comment. And you watch everybody around you will flock around and will be notified to the algorithm saying, hey, this is what happened at Lawrence. Because you liked it the last time, here's what's happening this week. So my recommendation to Naomi was, Naomi, let's try step back and look at it, because I took the initiative on understanding Club Runner. How many of you have Club Runner on your mobile phone? Have you folks used Club Runner? Wow, it's very powerful because it has access to all the district leadership. It has access to all the district events, and on the top part, got all the membership of your club listed at your fingertips. I don't know if you guys haven't had a chance to download Club Runner. That's the beauty I want. I want to be able to connect with my members, because maybe I need a telephone number, maybe I need a quick email. I can literally search through that directory. My directory is updated. It's current, not updated. My information is current. I don't have to look anywhere else for events other than what's posted on my Facebook events. See, so now it's so much easier for somebody to go onto the portal of Facebook and post an event and not worry about a website. It's challenging. I even do that for work, trying to keep the information current because it's shared among another place. So to give an example, I shared with Naomi. One day we had a PE meeting, right? The email had the Zoom link, but I went to the district website because it says on the event, PE meeting, click on the Zoom. Found out the Zoom invite wasn't the current one. It was listed in Benson's email, the current one. That's how I was able to jump into the meeting with you folks at the last time. So in short, what I'm trying to say is that I visited some other small clubs. Only the homepage is current. Everything else is obsolete. I mean, there's nothing. So try go to Pro Ridge. You go to Club Runner Pro Ridge, and I updated my link, and it goes directly to our Facebook. It's nice because we started back in 2011. We're a small club. We're a struggling club. But if you
Lawrence,
yeah.
I think what we're kind of running, we only
Oh,
got
okay.
So I think though, what we can do is maybe have a meeting for people who don't have a website, and you can share what you're doing so that they can see that they really don't need a website if they don't, if it's not in their budget or if they can't do it, and they still can have a homepage on the Club Runner.
Right.
So, and we will have some trainings on how to do that. We are looking at another vendor as a possible option. And I think Waikiki Gil, you guys are looking at DACDB? Yeah. So when you go to pets, DACDB and Club Runner will be there. You can check them out.
Okay, I'll let our president-elect know. I like what Lawrence just said about Facebook. Waikiki has a Facebook website. And I know they're going to start going to Zoom once a month and then in person 3 times a month, but we're going to do Facebook Live for those of us, because I'm not the only one. There are other members too that are not going to come to the meetings in person. So I like everything Lawrence just suggested about Facebook. Makes a lot of sense.
Can I add one more piece, Naomi?
Sure.
Okay, so with the next generation coming on board, you're gonna see a lot of TikTok videos hopping into Facebook. And that's kind of gonna be the next trending thing to give some vibrant into your club. Say, wow, these guys are having some fun. So TikTok is the next game in town that's gonna bring the club into a next level, into having fun.
Yep. And we need to remember that it's not one size fits all. You know, people learn at different ways, at different levels, and people will communicate in different ways. So we need to see how we need to communicate with our club members and what makes our clubs inviting enough for members to want to join you. And so, you know, when you think about diversity, equity, inclusion, this is something that you think about the community that you serve, and does your club reflect that demographic of your community? And so we'll be talking about that at the Vibrant Club workshop. We will have breakout sessions so that we can share ideas and brainstorm and see, you know, what kind of ideas do people have that can help you and come up with an action plan on what needs to be done to get to that place you want to be. But club trainers are so important to the clubs, that we really thank you for your commitment and your knowledge of what needs to be done and trying to help the president and the boards move forward. So that's the Holomua part on moving forward. Sandy, you have some last words that you want to give before we close up?
No, I think this is great how we are really enhancing our trainings to where we're covering a lot of different kinds of levels. As I mentioned earlier, you know, the high levels is strategic planning, the things to prep our presidents and our president-elects and the leaders, but also taking a look at these different strands of what we need to help prepare our members for the kinds of tasks that we all want to and need to do, whether it's website development, social media, developing videos, whatever it takes to really, you know, create vibrant clubs. And so I think we're all on the right track. I welcome a lot of your suggestions, and, you know, talk to your members, talk to see what they might be interested in and what we might be able to provide, because I think that's what's going to really make this fun and exciting and make it work for all of us. Okay. Right. So thank you. You folks are key. Key to the leadership and the future of Rotary. So I just want to say thank you for all your work and your support.
Yep, thank you. And keep those suggestions coming, because it's not only club assemblies. We have other trainings throughout the year on social media or foundation or membership. We will have them. And if there's something that you want to have, like a session on Club Runner, we can have a separate session. And even if it's only 5 people, that's okay. We want to provide the training that you need. So please let us know what you need. So good night. Thank you all for being here.
Good night. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.